Now the market is looking for liquidity, and inducement is the one of the most high rated liquidity areas we have in smart money concept. So if you don't know how to identify liquidity in the charts, then stick to this video until the end. I'm going to show it to you step by step until when we come up with the clear inducement marked on your structure. And without any further, let's into the charts. Now my name is JEFX and I'm a full-time smart money concept trader. I've been trading smart money concept for the past 4 years, and in this tutorial we are going to learn how you can mark up your inducement in your charts. And if you are watching to this video, you are watching to this channel for your very first time, I made a tutorial before this video. I made a video on inducement. I was giving you on the sketch and I gave you the rules which we have to follow while we are finding up our inducement in the charts. And if you didn't watch that video, then it will be very difficult for you to understand what we are going to explain in this tutorial. So I will request you kindly go back on this channel, and watch that video, and then it will be easy for you to understand what we are going to explain into this tutorial. Now first and foremost, I told you when you are looking up for inducement, you have to identify the overall trend. If you find out that you are going to mark up your inducement in uptrend, then it will be easy for you to know what you are going to looking for. And then if you find out that you are going to look for your inducement in downtrend, then it will also be easy for you to know what you are going to be looking for. Now in this scenario, as I told you that we have to identify the grand pair in the move. Now the market is in uptrend. We can all agree for that. We believe that the market is in uptrend. So first and foremost, we are going to identify our grand pair in the move. We are going to identify our grand pair in the move, and in this scenario I will take this candlestick to be my grand pair. You may ask to me why I have took that candlestick to be my grand pair. I have took this candlestick to be my grand pair because the reason being, when the candlestick are being created, they are being created from this end. They are being created from here going like this, right? So that means that this was the candlestick which was first created. This was the first candlestick which was first created before other candlesticks were created. So that's why I'm going to take this one to be my grand pair in this very move. Okay, are we together for that? So the first criteria, mark the grand pair's bottom. Identify the grand pair, that is done. This is our grand pair, and then identify the grand pair's bottom. So this is our grand pair's bottom and it was swept. This is the grand pair's bottom and it was swept. You can clearly see, guys, it was swept by this bearish candlestick. So this is the grand pair's bottom and it was swept. And then the second criteria, make sure that the grand pair's top is also swept as well. The grand pair's top was swept by this bullish candlestick. You can clearly see. This is the candlestick which swept the grand pair's top. And then lastly, mark the last selling candle. The last selling candle is down here. We find it down here, and in this scenario it is going to be our inducement. It is going to be our inducement. So this is what we are going to follow in the structure, and we are going to follow these rules until we mark all our structure with the good marked inducement. Are we together? So we are going to go ahead and we find our next grand pair. So where your grand pair was swept upside is where you start to mark your next grand pair. Are we together? Where your grand pair, this is the candlestick which swept our previous grand pair's top. Okay, this is the candlestick which swept our previous grand pair's top, and on that very candlestick is where we are going to start to look for our next grand pair. Are we together? So we have identified our next grand pair in the move. We have identified our next grand pair in the move, and this is this bullish candlestick. So secondly, we are going to mark up the grand pair's bottom. This is the grand pair's bottom, and then we are going to mark also the grand pair's top. This is the ground path top, and it was swept. It was swept, and then mark the last selling candle. This is the last selling candle, and it is our inducement. All together, this is how we mark inducement. The same scenario here. This is the ground path, and then it was swept here in the bottom, you can see, and then it was also swept on the top. Okay, and this is our selling candle, and it is our inducement. The last selling candle is our inducement. This is what we are going to follow also in this scenario. This is our ground path. It is a bearish candlestick. It is a bearish candlestick. Mark the ground path bottom, make sure it is swept, and then mark the ground path top, make sure it is also swept, and then mark the last selling candle, and it is your inducement. This is how we identify inducement. This is how we identify inducement in the charts. All together. So this is how we identify inducement in the charts. This is how we mark our inducement. So you can see in this very small chart, you can clearly see that we have followed all the rules and we have come up with our clear inducement marked. So if you practice this one, then you will come up to your clear, good looking structure, well mapped with inducement. So this is how we follow inducement in the charts, and this is the rules which we use to follow inducement in smart money concept. See you in the next video. Bye bye.